Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Rap star Offset in Jamaica with Cardi B to host party at Mecca on Friday. Rap star Offset, who is in Jamaica with his wife, Cardi B, will host a party at the Mecca nightclub in St. Andrew on Friday night. This is an exclusive event. Only a few hundred tickets will be available to the public. They go online on December 14, first come first serve basis. Welcome our special guest, said Mecca in a press release, noting that it was a task choosing who gets to buy tickets because the club's capacity of less than 1,000 people. We believe we have priced the limited ticket fairly, allowing our regular supporters to afford whilst not compromising on the exclusive nature of the event, the release stated. The event kicks off at 10 p.m. Offset is a third of the Grammy-nominated rap trio, Mecca's, who recently lost member Take Off in a shooting in US. He and rap superstar wife, Cardi B, have been vacating in the island since earlier this week and have been spotted at Duns River, Margaritaville and Blue Hole in Ocho Rios and at the Romish Entertainment headquarters in Kingston. Westmoreland teen missing since December 3rd. An another alert has been activated for 15-year-old Abby Nemard of Friendship District in Westmoreland, who has been missing since Saturday, December 3rd. Nemard is of brown complexion, stout build, and is about 165 centimeters tall. Reports from the Wheaton police are that Abby was last seen at home about 9 p.m. when she retired to bed. Her mode of dress at the time she went missing is unknown. All efforts to contact her have proven futile. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Abby Nemard is asked to contact the Wheaton police at 876-957-7713, the police 119 emergency number, or the nearest police station. JDF calls for resignation of senior officer investigated in sexual harassment allegations. The Jamaica Defense Board has called for the resignation of a senior officer who was being investigated in relation to allegations of sexual harassment. The JDF force says this will result in the termination of all benefits post-service. In a statement yesterday, the JDF said the investigation, which started in October and has now concluded, revealed that the officer is in breach of the JDF Sexual Harassment Prevention Policy 2018 and the Personal Relationships and Fraternization Policy. The Army noted that all victims have been advised to their right to make official reports to the civil police. The force said it is guided by the Sexual Harassment Prevention Policy 2018, which details specific actions to be taken if those culpable are proven to be in breach of the policy. The JDF reiterated its zero tolerance for actions that are in breach of its policies. It said it continues to implore service members and civilians who are aware of a breach of any policy to use the approved processes to report them. WMW Jamaica commends JDF for investigation into sexual misconduct allegations by officer. WMW Jamaica, a non-profit organization with focuses on the reduction of gender-based violence, has commended the Jamaica Defense Force for its investigation into allegations of sexual harassment in relation to one of its senior officers. Speaking at reporters, WMW's founding member Hilary Nicholson lauded the JDF for ensuring transparency by publishing the results of its probe. Noting that there are several institutions across the island without a sexual harassment policy, Ms. Nicholson said she is pleased that the JDF is guided by its sexual harassment prevention policy. She stressed that the policy will help victims come forward when breaches occur.
Firstly, I would like to commend the JDF for having a sexual harassment policy. Their release suggests that it is a sexual harassment policy dated 2018, and many institutions do not have a sexual harassment policy, even though they have been encouraged to do so for many, many years. So I commend the JDF for that, and I want to commend them also for having done a thorough investigation and for reaching the end of it and issuing the release so that the public can know exactly what has happened. With so many cases of sexual crimes, we hear about an alleged crime, and we very often do not hear the result of a full investigation. So I want to commend the JDF for doing that and for making this public and issuing the release. It is very important. Often we do not recognize the extent to which the abuse of power is at the root of all forms of gender-based violence. And it is this lack of power that the survivor of a sexual crime or sexual offense, it is their feeling of powerlessness and fear of consequences that prevents the victims and the survivors from reporting a sexual offense. So again, it is so important that the JDF has released the investigation's conclusion publicly, because this can encourage victims and survivors of sexual harassment to feel that if they report it, the matter will be investigated and that action will be taken. The final piece of action that we need to hear about, of course, is the redress offered to the survivors of sexual harassment.
St. Anne mechanic charged after allegedly shooting brother. A man has been charged with shooting with intent and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition after he allegedly shot at his brother during a dispute on Thursday, May 26. Charged is 39-year-old Wesley Martin, a mechanic of Top Milton Road in St. Anne. According to police reports, about 5:30 p.m., Martin and his brother got into an altercation when the mechanic reportedly fired 2 shots at his brother, injuring his sibling in the left hand. Martin's brother was taken to hospital where he was treated. Martin was later arrested and charged. Quick response team established by St. Anne Police to help curtail crime. A quick response team has been established by the police in St. Anne to help curtail crime. Head of the St. Anne Police, Senior Superintendent Dwight Powell says the team on motorcycles have been deployed to the 3 main townships. There is a 32% increase in the 7 categories of major crimes in the parish. 63 murders have occurred across the parish since January, 13 more than 50 reported for the same period in 2021. There has been 93 reported robberies compared to 49 for the same period last year.
And so you would have seen a quick response team that we have installed. Just want to use the opportunity to at least thank my boss, the Commissioner of Police, for the injection of those new motorcycles. So we trained some guys, and now we put them on the motorcycles. The intent is to use them to police our township, our 3 main townships, and with a view to see how best we can use them to curtail, especially robberies across the parish. So you have seen that our robbers were on motorcycles. So we have now put the police on motorcycles. And I'm going to say that these guys, they are properly trained, well equipped, and if and when we are confronted, we know exactly what to do to repel those confrontations. And so it is with a view to make the parish of St. Anne a safer place for all of us.
Health Ministry reports increase in acute respiratory infections. The Health Ministry is reporting an increase in acute respiratory infections. This has resulted in an increase in hospital admissions for such illnesses, including pneumonia. Jamaica is in the flu season, which begins in October and ends in March, and the ministry says increases in the number of cases are expected. Acting National Epidemiologist Dr. Andreen Harris notes that mainly young children are affected. She says the viruses causes respiratory infections include COVID.
And it's mainly seen in the 2 to 4 years age group. That's what we are seeing in country. Also for the 6 to 11 months. Older patients as well, but not as much as the younger age group. So we're seeing also that these cases are requiring admissions. So the pneumonias and so on. For the influenza-like illness, these are persons presenting with respiratory symptoms but not requiring admission. We are seeing an increase, but it's within normal limits, both for the under 5, the 5 to 59, and the over 60. We are seeing an increase, but within normal limits. So what is causing this? COVID is still circulating. You can see in gray, we are seeing the cases of COVID. But in addition to that, we are seeing influenza A, and primarily the H3N2, which is a seasonal influenza, and a few cases of the influenza A, H1N1. We have identified cases of the respiratory syncytial virus as well in the children that were tested in a few cases. Of course, we want to promote prevention, and we know that we have the COVID-19 vaccine, we have the influenza vaccine that's available. We are in the flu season, so we're encouraging all the eligible population to avail themselves of these vaccines, and especially those who are in the vulnerable population, the elderly, the pregnant women, healthcare workers, but everybody who is eligible, we're encouraging to avail themselves of these vaccines and to continue the preventative measures that we used for COVID-19, wearing masks, proper cough etiquette, washing hands, and proper hygiene.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell